Bitcoin has surpassed $90,000. We've managed to top out for now at 93,500. And right as we speak, Bitcoin is just coming back down to this previous zone of resistance that it was experiencing, potentially about to find it as support. And I'll tell you what, this is actually one of the best flips of a resistance level that we might be seeing throughout this market cycle since we broke the all-time high. And I want to tell you why that is in this YouTube video. But before we continue diving into that, if you are excited for this, do me a favor and pump those likes up. We've had crazy developments in the space. Take a look at this. This is straight from Elon Musk's official Twitter page. This is a real statement from President-elect Donald Trump saying that he's going to be, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are going to be leading the Department of Government Efficiency. Before everybody gets super excited about this, because this absolutely super excited me, if that's even the right way to speak English, it is worth noting that the Department of Government Efficiency literally has no federal powers, like as far as we know so far. And that could just mean that they're completely useless. So I mean, I don't want to get too overexcited or too pessimistic, but a lot of the time things aren't as exciting as they seem in real life. Hopefully this one pulls through. We're gonna look at a bunch of other tweets in a bit, but it's just absolutely crazy what's going on. The result of that tweet was Doge continuing to rally higher. It was kind of trading at these lows at about 35 cents, and it just pumped up by 20% very quickly because of that. So that's super cool. But let's keep it locked to Bitcoin because this is much more interesting. We've got $100,000 right above our foreheads right now, and it's going to be very interesting to see how and if we can get there. The beautiful thing, and I've been telling you guys the importance of this for so long, those of you that are subscribed, is that Bitcoin has been consolidating sideways, which is going to enable it to basically have some new support and resistance levels when we go up, right? I've always kind of made the point to you guys that, if you go up very aggressively like this and then you start coming down, you got nowhere that you can find support. But if instead of moving up like this, you actually move up a little bit, like this, and then you continue to go up, well, when you come back down, it's very easy to see where that support level might be, and that's how you can kind of punch in a new higher low and then continue moving higher. And it seems like that's what Bitcoin's on pace to do right now. I mean, it's very early days and early minutes for this at the moment, but Bitcoin is already starting to find support at this zone. And I think the reason that we can kind of expect that, or that it's actually happening right now, is because we are in blue sky breakout territory. This is an incredibly bullish market. This is a super excited, euphoric market. Although retail still, by a lot of measures, isn't actually quite here yet. But we're clearly seeing, a general absence of sellers and a general, increase in presence, at least, of buyers. And I think that's why we're just continuing to punch in higher highs and higher lows here. And I can't think of a better setup for this chart, because, I mean, since Bitcoin broke the all-time high, there hasn't been a single clear level of support like this one here that Bitcoin managed to establish. And I'll tell you what, guys, the reason that this is so crazy to me is that we are so criminally close to $100,000 right now, and so to be basically printing such bullish patterns now, to me is just a bit crazy. Let me just remove all of these drawings that I've got here on this chart because we don't need any of these now, but it's just absolutely mind-blowing to me, ladies and gents, the fact that Bitcoin has been able to get all the way back up here, and just starting to flip these zones of support. And if we really zoom in and we take a look at, what some of our indicators were showing us, I mean, here on the Ichimoku cloud, I'm not sure, I don't think we actually managed to hit that support indicator yet, but in terms of momentum, it's definitely been there. Look at this. This is the hourly EMA ribbon, which, by the way, hasn't broken since pretty much Trump was elected, right? I mean, Bitcoin has been finding support across this EMA ribbon constantly every time Bitcoin kind of fell into it since Trump won the election here, which is quite impressive now because that was over a week ago. And crucially, if we are this close to $100,000 now, it's like, well, if we bounce off of this, I mean, let's take a look at how big these price moves have been, right? If we bounce off of this, this was a $7,000 price move. And if we just kind of grab this and kind of try and extrapolate this for another speculative target, I mean, just look at where it places us, ladies and gents. It's absolutely crazy. We're just a stone's throw away from that $100,000 price level. And that's if we only produce the same kind of of move that we had just now, right? If it's a little bit aggressive than what we had just now, right? If it looks something a little bit more like this, then we can actually expect to get ever so slightly closer to $100,000. And I think that's what makes this really interesting. I don't know how much more, space we have to move at this point in the market. I'll be completely honest. It's kind of hard to say because that $100,000 price level, I would expect a lot of sellers to kind of start participating and being interested here. But at the same time, ladies and gents, very, very clearly, it doesn't seem to matter that we're getting this close to 100K. Bitcoin isn't slowing down. And actually, one of the ideas that I floated with you guys a couple of days ago on this YouTube channel is that Bitcoin, because it's kind of consolidating under $100,000 and because it's been consolidating for 7 to 8 months before this, it might just blast straight through 100,000. I mean, everybody and their grandmother wants to, see 100K Bitcoin and sell it and, take some profits. And, I think that could definitely be a self-fulfilling prophecy that results in a drop. But so far, this has been such an unexpected bull run. I mean, it's been 7+ years I've been in this game, right? And I've heard people, back when Bitcoin was $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, I've heard people talking about $100,000 Bitcoin. And as a young guy, I joined this space when I was 15 years old. You kind of think like, maybe we can hit 100K, right? And so I had a little bit of that kind of hopeful aspiration in me that maybe Bitcoin can get there. But we look at reality here, and I swear to you, I did not in any of the ways that Bitcoin could have hit $100,000, I did not expect that this would be one of them, right? I did not expect that Bitcoin would be potentially reaching $100,000 like this, and I think that just goes to show just how insane this market has been, like just absolutely how insane this market has been. And I'll tell you what, guys, the trading opportunities have been plentiful. If you take a look at the kind of things that have been going on in this space lately. I mean, take a look at this. We're in a new era. If you value common sense, if you value sovereignty, if you value freedom, you are getting paid. And take a look at this. This is a new, this is my existing Bitcoin position with the current price at 93K here, 3,300% profit. You guys already know the deal. Here is that same Bitcoin position here with over $230,000 in profit. I only put 100K in, so that is a huge profit there. TRX also up by over 1,100%. That's an outdated screenshot. TRX is much better than this right now. And here's a new position that I just took on earlier today with another $40,000 in profit at the time of this screenshot. It's actually a little bit closer to break even right now because the market is so volatile, but incredible results here. I'm still in this position. My stop loss is at break even, so I don't really care what happens anyway. But really impressive stuff the way this market has been moving, in my opinion, and I think that it could signify big stuff to come. So it's all about this support test right here, ladies and gents. I think that if this support test that we're seeing at the moment doesn't hold, then we could be seeing the prices kind of plummet a little bit lower. But if it does hold, get ready for a potentially giga move up, ladies and gents. I really think it could be absolutely huge. And regardless of what happens, if you are looking for a place to trade these moves, Bybit, hands down the best place to be. When you sign up and start trading using this link, they're going to give you up to 30K for free to trade with. Blowfin has much more aggressive offers. They're going to give you more capital, like even easier, which is super cool. And so they're well worth checking out. A lot of you guys have already signed up to these exchanges, but you haven't got your bonuses yet because you just haven't started trading. So that's the prerequisite. They only pay out when you start trading. But if that's something you're interested in, you're going to get a ton of free cash. And any profits you make with that money are going to be yours to withdraw. So that's super cool. Check them out if you're not from a restricted region, if you are allowed to by law in your country. But yeah, super cool stuff here. I do think that this support level for Bitcoin is basically going to be about over here. I think that if we puncture it a little bit lower, it could be a sign that we're losing some of that bullish energy. However, we do kind of stretch all the way down to 86K if we look at it from this particular perspective, and I think that would also be pretty fine for Bitcoin, right? I mean, it would be a lot less bullish than, kind of bouncing up from here, but it would still be fine. If Bitcoin did lose, kind of 85K around over here, that's when I think things would get really bad now for Bitcoin. I think it's finally starting to become clear what a bearish hypothesis for Bitcoin looks like, because we've been, producing so much, developments here on these charts. So we've been having so many developments on these charts. But, if we lose this level, what it would mean is that, we kind of set a high up here at 89. We swept the high, but we're not strong enough to keep it. And then we're even sweeping the low that we previously set. So it would be very bearish, I think, for this market. if Bitcoin managed to get here. I mean, I say very bearish. I mean, compared to where we are right now, it'd still be incredibly bullish, because if Bitcoin did fall below 85K, I don't see any support on this chart basically until 76, and this entire range basically is Bitcoin's previous all-time high, right? Bitcoin's previous all-time high was probably somewhere around, I don't know, like about over here. And so, really this entire kind of range where Bitcoin kind of went sideways here could be an interesting zone of support if Bitcoin did end up losing that $86,000 price zone. So I think that's going to be important to look at. This zone stretches about $3,000, which I know sounds a little bit crazy, but in terms of percent, it's 4%, which is still high, but it's not anywhere near as crazy as $3,000 sounds. And I think that's all very important to be keeping in mind, because this is a very logical bounce zone for Bitcoin. Obviously, if things do start to get intense, I keep warning you guys about the chance of a long squeeze, which I think is so high. And by the way, I'm going to go to Bitcoin dominance and Ethereum in just a second, two incredibly important charts. So if you are excited for that, do me a favor and pump up those likes. Of course, double check that you're subscribed so you don't miss out on this very time sensitive content. But we're going to keep it locked to this just for another second here, because one of the big things that I've been talking about to you guys is those potential zones that I think Bitcoin could be pulling back to, because it's such an important conversation, guys. It really is, because that's where really all the big money can be made, right? I mean, everybody is kind of really clamoring over what's happening right now, and it's good, but any gains that you've been making while Bitcoin hit $92,000, those are gains that you've already had, right? I mean, that's fine. If you're happy with that, then rock on. But me, almost no matter how much profit I'm in, I want more, because there's always something else, and obviously there's a shitload more to do in life, right? I mean, I'm not okay with just one little profit here. This is the time, ladies and gents. If there's ever been a time to make a shitload of money and change your life, it's only right now. And it's the best time. It's not even close to anything else that I think we've ever seen in our lifetimes. Maybe, I don't know. I'm really drumming this up right now, but I do think it's a really big deal, and that's why I'm doing that. And because of that, for me, it's about maximizing, right? For me, it's about recognizing that this window of opportunity is here. It's not going to be here forever, and I want to get everything I can out of it, right? And if you don't feel that way, and if you're just kind of happy with where you are, then good for you. Honestly, life would be easier that way. But I'm not that way. There is more to be done here. I recognize that this isn't just about this bull market. This is about the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years that you could potentially be setting yourself up for. And so, again, to get back to the main point, there are much better opportunities when you're looking for dips in a bull market than when you're just congratulating yourself and looking at your P&L screenshots. Trust me, there are much better opportunities if you're actually trying to be a little bit more proactive. And it comes down to these support levels, right? If we measure it from high to low, I mean, from that all-time high down to our previous all-time high, that's now a 20% drop, which is fantastic, ladies and gents. That's such a nice, healthy correction for Bitcoin to come down to its previous all-time high. But down to its main zone of support here at 71K, that's going to be a 23.5% drop, and down to its big zone of support, like a zone of support that I just don't even think would fail for Bitcoin, 28%. Now that is a much more reasonable downside projection if Bitcoin were to come down and capture some of that support, because that is going to scare the shit out of people. That is going to make people feel like the bull market is over. That is going to make people feel like Bitcoin is dying again. That's going to make people start selling their Bitcoin aggressively and panicking. There's going to be a lot of things that go wrong with people who are not very patient, people who are not very seasoned, who haven't been around for particularly long, who just don't have, you don't even need to be around for a long time. I think a big mistake going around in the space right now is that if you've been here for previous market cycles, then you're definitely going to do well right now. And first of all, that's definitely not true. But second of all, I can't tell you the amount of traders I've personally worked with who were brand new to this market, just absolutely brand new to this market, and then they entered within a cycle like this, and they just ran it up. I know one guy who joined one of our most powerful packages. He joined with a $30,000 account balance, and he ran that shit up to $1 million in 10 months. And this motherfucker had never traded Bitcoin before. It was his first ever time, and in his first 10 months, he turned 30K into $1 million, which is absolutely insane, right? In other words, he turned $300 into 10K. He turned 3K into 100K. We're talking about astronomical gains here, ladies and gents, and that was possible partly because he had joined. I mean, he he was a legend. He was very, very good on his own, but it was also because he had joined one of our most powerful packages, which I've actually made even better for you guys. So if you guys want to reach out and get some information about it, we've had amazing successes here. It's a very intense 12-week program working directly with me. It's super serious. It's expensive. It's a serious investment into yourself. But if that kind of thing sounds interesting to you, we have had phenomenal results. I'm talking about people paying off this fee 50 times over within the first month of this program even, which is very, very impressive. And just crazy results like that. Very similar package to what I just described, that other guy who did it in 10 months. What he had. You're actually getting something much better. So if you think that sounds good to you, definitely reach out, and a member of my team or myself will get that information sent across to you. But yeah, if we do bring it back here, I do want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on with Bitcoin's dominance. Bitcoin's dominance has brand new highs here right now. The last time that Bitcoin's dominance has been this high is going to stretch all the way back over here to 1,329 days ago, all the way back to kind of April, March of 2021. So very, very long time, basically 3.5 years since Bitcoin's dominance has been this high. And I think this is all just getting ready for that big move for the altcoins, right? I mean, if this kind of thing happens for Bitcoin, then naturally when Bitcoin's dominance comes back down, because it is cyclical and I do expect it to come back down, I just think that the subsequent price explosion for altcoins could be insane, right? And I've been saying that for a very long time. I made an entire series on altcoins about it. Twitter is going to get some exclusive content and early content on altcoins. You can follow me there if you want to get some more stuff about altcoins, but I will be posting some more here to YouTube as well. Obviously, we're going to be doing a live stream, so that's always cool for those of you that watch it for those live streams. But what we do have right now is a very, very high Bitcoin dominance. It's continuing to trend higher. And we're seeing the result of that with, coins like Ethereum, right? I mean, Ethereum picked up a little bit of strength compared to the rest of the altcoin market just in this little move here. But, I mean, it's absolutely perfect. I told you that this is what was going to happen. I was upset to tell you, right? Because, I don't like being the guy that's always telling you that you're about to get fucked again when you get excited and happy. But at the end of the day, like I said, we are just here for money, right? And so we're not even here for those feelings of excitement and euphoria. We don't care about them. We're going to get them from, the nice car that we can buy or, whatever the deal is, but certainly not from these markets. But what we did have here was just another classic, pump and dump, right? We get a nice big pump into resistance and then slowly die again. And we've seen this a million times on different kind of shapes and sizes. This one here was one of the most obvious ones, and that's why I was so confident about it. It's because Ethereum was just, hitting a previous zone of support and it was back testing it as resistance. Like, I don't know, what the hell do you think is going to happen? It's the most typical example of a rejection that I've ever seen. And now we're about to sweep this low right here. If Ethereum does sweep this low, it's probably coming down to my final target of 0.3 BTC per token. Unfortunately, at this stage, it looks like Ethereum could even be getting lower than that because it's just gotten down here too quickly. I didn't even think Ethereum would get down here this quickly. It's gotten down here a little bit too quickly, and because of that, it might have to drop even lower against Bitcoin. But the ultimate point here is that the upside potential is getting crazy. I mean, from this price zone to this high that Ethereum set, which, by the way, I think it's reasonable. I think Ethereum can reach those levels again. That is nearly a 3 times increase. Ethereum will have to increase by nearly 3 times. What's going on, Ghost? How you doing, man? Ethereum will have to increase by nearly 3 times in order to get back up to those highs. And I think that's really, really interesting because that's basically tripling your Bitcoin holding, right? If you put in a Bitcoin into Ethereum at those lows and it gets back up to those highs, that's going to be 3 Bitcoins that you get to walk away with, which is insane. I mean, where does that even happen, right? That's such a powerful setup to be in, and definitely something which I think is very, very exciting and definitely pumping me up. So super cool stuff there. And then if we take a look at some other coins in the altcoin market, Solana is just kind of cooling off a little bit, just chilling. It's made a big breakout. It's not quite at its all-time high yet, but it is getting very, very close. And right now, it looks like it's just kind of consolidating, getting ready for the next move up. So this is going to be interesting to continue to watch, just to see if it kind of forms any kind of bullish pennant, stuff like that. That's going to be something which I think is really important to kind of keep your eyes locked on here. If you're interested in Solana potentially setting some brand new highs. Let's take a look at Solana against Bitcoin just to kind of see what the situation is over here. And it is losing against Bitcoin, but it seems to be at support. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's just kind of sideways against Bitcoin here, actually. So this is probably a long-term kind of zone of consolidation for Solana. Yeah, I mean, this could definitely pop. It's happening inside of a bull phase. Yeah, it looks like this is going to pop. It looks like this is going to make some nice money against Bitcoin here. To get back up to that all-time high, that's going to double against Bitcoin. That's easy. I think that's, you know, quite likely to happen. Yeah, just insane. I can't believe I'm saying some of this shit. And of course, you know, if Solana does end up getting significantly higher, it would just get even better. So very, very good pick here. Definitely something that I think is looking good. Other winners are meme coins, right? I mean, meme coins are doing so well because of that Department of Government Efficiency thing that we were looking at a little bit earlier on. You know, meme coins are doing very, very well. Pepe is at a brand new all-time high, actually. So that's quite spectacular. I don't think Doge is quite there yet. Yeah, so we're gonna have to see how that goes. But let's take a look at this. We've got $1 billion minted from the USDT treasury here, which, you know, those of you who don't really know what this means, that basically means a bunch of new USDT tokens have been created. And typically this happens directly before a shitload of buying happens, right? Because the only thing you can do with USDT and crypto, the only thing you can do with USDT and crypto is you can buy crypto, right? The best thing that you need to understand about where people can be positioned is it's not Bitcoin. If everybody is positioned in Bitcoin, then they can sell Bitcoin. But if everybody is positioned in the dollar, that means the only button they can buy for Bitcoin is the green button. They can't sell Bitcoin because they don't own it, but they can buy Bitcoin because they don't own it. And so, you know, when we actually start to see that we're getting a lot of USDT being created, that generally actually coincides with some nice big pumps. So that's really, really cool. Take a look at this. We've been talking about this a lot, but this is very, very oversimplified compared to what we talk about. First of all, you see Bitcoin pumping, and then Ethereum, and then altcoins, and this is talking about big altcoins, and then mid caps. Then you get a big crash. The very, very small coins pump. Everything goes sideways. The memes pump. Look, it's rough. It's broad, but this is generally true, and it's very important to keep in mind, because right now, for example, if you're positioned here but we're still dealing with this stage, then, you know, you're probably not maximizing what your money can be doing for you. Obviously it's going to be different in different situations, and I could be wrong, but on this I've never been wrong. And I mean, it's just human psychology, right? You're going to go from the safest markets into less safe markets the more money you make, because the more money you make, the more greedy you become, the more you want to make more money. If we take a look at this right here, we got $1 billion worth of shorts getting liquidated as Bitcoin starts to get close to $100,000. It's probably already at $100,000 depending on where you look at this. So, you know, some sort of like weird Korean exchange or whatever is going to be at the equivalent of $100,000 probably, but you know, we probably can't be too interested in that because the real Bitcoin price isn't there yet. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF hits $40 billion in assets in just 211 days. It's the most successful ETF launch in history. Look at just how quickly these IBIT shares were able to get up to $40 billion, you know, compared to some of the others over here taking, you know, thousands, you know, over 1,000 days. Bitcoin's ETF here only taking 200. So very, very telling. You know, this is clearly a situation in this market where, you know, the factors are amped up right now. Things are really pointing toward the upward direction. It's really just a case of when, in a lot of situations here, things can get south. If things can go south, if Bitcoin kind of loses the $86,000 zone of support, but that's still quite far away. You know, and we're still not even, you know, we're even starting to bounce off this level a little bit right now. So if this bounce, you know, does hold, and if this bounce does kind of materialize and get higher, you know, I mean, the gains are just going to be insane. They're just going to be astronomical. So just strap yourselves in, ladies and gents. If you want to get more analysis from myself and my team around the clock, then make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Make sure you're in our free Telegram channel. Links below as well, because we give you even more analysis for free straight to your phone over there. Obviously, if you want the free trading capital, you got to start trading using these links here. And they're going to give you this money for free to trade with. Any profits that you make are going to be yours to withdraw. Like I said, if you've already signed up, but you haven't gotten a bonus yet, it's because you haven't started to trade, right? So as soon as you start trading, as soon as you make a deposit and start trading, they're going to give you that money. So that's super, super cool. Again, only if you're not from a restricted region, only if you are allowed to in your country. But yeah, super cool stuff there, ladies and gents. If you have enjoyed this video, you know exactly what to do. There's so much more coming. I'm so pumped up. I'm sure you could tell. And I'll see you all in the next one.